My Hero Academia played an important role in anime history. After the big three, My Hero Academia was one of the new generation of shonen anime to carry the torch, and it became wildly popular. Some of the darker elements of Deku learning about his powers foreshadowed the darker tone that shonen anime would take. But with the arrival of those darker anime like the Dark Trio and Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia suddenly became antiquated. For this and a variety of other reasons, My Hero Academia fell out of favour for many anime fans. But despite this, it remains one of the best-selling manga and a wildly popular anime. With the My Hero Academia anime reaching its conclusion, we're here to reflect on the complicated history and lasting legacy of My Hero Academia. Well, hello, and welcome back to Gateway to Anime. How are you all? What's going on? We are the podcast where we deep dive into the classics as well as bring you the best new anime. I, as always, am your host, Sam, and I'm joined by my sister, Charlie, and Graham. Not my sister, obviously. Graham, how are you, mate? As not my sister.
As not your sister, I'm pretty good.
Good, yeah, no, fair enough.
Look forward to deep diving into an anime that I kind of fell off in the last few years, so I'm hoping this will kind of spur me back into it.
Well, that is exactly why we're talking about this, because it is quite an interesting topic. And Charlie, how are you?
As your sister, I'm always okay. But yeah, I'm fine. Hello. Excited to talk about this one as well because it's actually, it's an interesting one that I feel like we always talk about how we have these animes on this podcast that we end up somehow defending. And it's like anyone listening would be like, wow, that's their favorite show. I feel like I've defended this anime way more than I actually enjoy the show. So I look forward to spending a whole episode not beating the allegations that I'm a My Hero Academia fan.
There it is.
Here's a whole hour of me talking about it.
So before we go any further, I just want to thank this episode's sponsor, HobbyCo, Australia's oldest hobby store where they take their fun seriously. We'll be back in this episode a little bit later to tell you more about them. Otherwise, check out the link in the description. So we are going to talk about My Hero Academia because at the time of recording this episode, we will be airing season 8. It will have begun and we'll probably be a couple of episodes in. And this is the final season. I believe it's just one core. I'm fairly sure.
12 episodes.
12 eps.
A tight 12.
So obviously this is a modern classic and it's quite a contentious one because it's one of those modern shonens that really started that next wave of what we now consider to be the big modern shonens, but it's not the Dark Trio. It predates that.
The new gen.
It was the new gen.
Which is now the old gen.
So it sits in this weird space, actually.
And for people who aren't aware, it's to replace the big three, which is from when we were kids, which is the really old stuff now, which is One Piece, Bleach, Naruto.
Yes.
And then there was a new gen, which was My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and what was the third one?
Well, I mean, Hunter x Hunter sits in there somewhere, but it's earlier.
No, that's his own thing.
That's his own
that was
vibe.
a reboot. There's a third one. Sorry, I'm losing my mind. Fairy Tale?
Fairy Tale, I suppose you would call.
Seven Deadly Sins?
Yeah, all in that realm. Fairy Tale was huge, but never really broke in the West as well.
Out of the ones I've just mentioned, My Hero is by far the most popular, even over Black Clover.
Even over Black Clover. Well, absolutely, because it is in the top selling manga of all time. In fact, it's in the top 20. It's sort of even difficult to see when I was looking at the numbers here. There's a whole bunch around the sort of 20 to 25 mark, which have all sold over 100 million copies of the manga, of which this is one. It's outsold Hunter x Hunter. It's outsold Haikyuu. So it's a big, huge IP.
Huge in America, huge.
Well, it was. And this is what's interesting here. Because when it first broke, 2016 is when the anime came out. The manga's been going significantly longer. But when it first broke, it was massive. It was a huge deal. It was like one of the massive shonen IPs in the West. But since about 2020, which incidentally is the time when anime blew up, because we call it the COVID boom. It's something which is actually under-researched academically. It's talked about a fair bit online and stuff, but it's something that I'm...
Because it's happened so recently.
Well, yeah, of course,
absolutely.
Review.
You're like, it's under-researched.
Well, yeah, it is.
2 years ago.
But it's actually a huge moment in Western anime history because it blew up. Obviously, people were stuck at home. We had Netflix, which also was a huge part of how anime got massive. Crunchyroll has now become significantly bigger. Netflix is actually still outpacing it for anime consumption, which is very interesting. That's a topic for another time. But basically, My Hero fell off. It fell off. Now, it corresponded with a poor season. It was the overhaul season.
Hang on, Sam. I've just realized something interesting. So you said 2020 is when the anime boom kind of happened, the COVID boom. I reckon it's also when Gateway to Anime started.
The gateway boom?
Did we start this?
No one's saying it conclusively. There hasn't been enough academic research done on this
Yet.
That's
what I'm going to do my masters on.
That's your thesis.
But I reckon,
Impact.
I reckon it was us.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was.
We can never stop doing this podcast and the industry would collapse, right? Like in the
They-
Can't prove
West, at
otherwise.
least.
They owe us so much.
Yeah.
Cause and causation. But there's a lot of reasons it fell off, and we'll dive into this because I think anime matured and changed. That style of shonen anime shifted significantly, like your Black Clovers, your Fairy Tales, My Heroes, moving into more of the Dark Trio, which is, of course, Jujutsu Kaisen, Hell's Paradise, and Chainsaw Man. You've also got Demon Slayer in the mix there, which is kind of halfway between the two. So it's kind of an interesting, it just occupies a really fascinating space because Black Clover, I feel, gets a really bad rep, justifiably. Fairy Tale is super basic and
Look at me
justifiably
again. Just,
attacked.
you haven't watched it.
Watch Black Clover.
I literally watched the pilot and I was like,
That
is
does
this
not.
written by
I'm
AI?
so sorry.
I know, but I was like, is this written by AI? You know
No,
what I mean? It was like, come on, man. It
It's
was
not a
like-
great adaptation, but it's actually, trust me, it's. I feel like I can see you being into Black Clover.
I understand the appeal, but it's part of the reason why I like My Hero Academia. But for those of you who've never actually seen My Hero Academia, let me just give you a quick overview of what it is. It is a superhero world. It is a world in which 80% of the world currently have quirks, and quirks are superpowers. Now, they're a little bit distinctive because some of them are kind of bloodline driven, a little bit like chakra is in Naruto. Like you can pass on elements of your power to your children and whatnot. It's been several generations now. And so if you don't have a quirk, you're in the minority and you're heavily disadvantaged. Now, of course, because of this, people just started to be like, hey, I've got all these powers. I'm just gonna like go rob banks and be a crim. So in response to that, heroes emerged and they've now been stratified into agencies and they are superstar heroes, both metaphorically and literally in this universe. So they're rock stars. The main character is named Izuku Midoriya, who is obsessed with heroes. Absolutely obsessed. Lives for it, like knows every single thing there is to know about them, has like writes meticulous notes, but has no power. And he's devastated about that. And his greatest hero is the number one hero, the one who brought essentially balance to the Force, is All Might. And All Might is number one. He has been fighting against the ultimate bad, which is One for All. And basically, sorry, he is One for All. It is All for One. Without going too deep into this, he is the bad guy. He steals people's powers and uses them to himself. All Might's power is essentially the reverse of that, where he basically has gained power through generations and you pass that quirk down. Now, what's interesting is that he was once also unpowered. Now, through various incidents, Midoriya and All Might meet, come together, and Midoriya shows he has the heart of a hero despite having no power himself. He goes to rescue his friend who's under attack. Turns out that All Might's actually very, very injured, doesn't have the power he used to have. He's actually like slowly dying and losing his power and can only use it intermittently. He's not the superstar hero he once was. Anyway, long story short, he gives his power to Midoriya, and then Midoriya goes off on a journey through school, My Hero Academia. It's in the name. He goes to school where he learns to become a hero, and slowly he is like mentored by All Might to become the greatest hero and keep using this sort of generational power that gets stronger every time it's passed down a generation. That's essentially what the show is about. And it ticks all the shonen boxes. We've got a school, we've got a power, elaborate power system, we've got mentors, we've got a student, we've got like a great bad who's like been a horrible bad for a long time, who they've been fighting against, and of course All Might, because he was so overpowered. And when I say he brought power, balance to the Force, what I mean is that like the bad guys were winning for a long time until All Might arrived and basically changed it all, because his big famous line is, haha, it's fine because I am here. And after he starts to lose that power, the balance is thrown out of whack. Midoriya has gained this new power, but is unable to use it. Every time he uses it, he breaks his bones. That's how powerful the ability is. And so that's kind of where it goes. Now, I loved it when it first came out.
I rewatched the first episode before doing this podcast, and I've watched it quite a few times. I reckon it's like one of the strongest pilots in
Amazing
anime
pilot.
history in terms of like just how quickly you get a vibe for the style of the show, the characters, everything. It's very compelling and it's a really strong pilot and opening. I remembered I was like, that's right, I loved this show.
Yeah.
Because it's also like a little bit bleaker than you realize, you know?
Yeah, it is.
So that cartoony kind of pop like kiddie sort of style, but then when he gets like injured, it's like, oh, like it's pretty it kind of is a bit grotesque in that way that is like, they don't shy away from just how horrific it would be to use that kind of power and try to like.
His arms are like purple and broken
Yeah.
and like really
Yeah.
disfigured.
Yeah, it's genuinely season 1's great.
It is.
And season 2 is good too.
It basically starts to fall off around season 4, which is the overhaul time. And it's a real shame because I feel like that was a weak season. Yeah, it was the weakest season of them all. And it was a damn shame because it was firing on all cylinders. And then people turned on it. And there's a couple of reasons for this, which is why it has a complicated legacy in Western anime fandom, right? Because it's also to do with the fandom. We'll discuss that a little bit later because it gets a little bit weird. But like that is unfortunately part of the reason why it has a bit of a bad rep. But also, frankly, that 4th season overhaul period kind of sucks.
I also think people do think that My Hero Academia, just because like you could get like the art style and the way it is, and it's not as heavy as say Demon Slayer or like any of those
Jujutsu
people might
Kaisen
think
or-
it is like slightly juvenile in that kind of way and might think it's for kids or like have maybe got into it when they were younger and then they've just aged out of it, you know. So that could have happened as well. It's like been a long time. 26 has only been a decade.
Yeah.
So if you started it when you were 15, now you're 25, you're probably like,
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
fuck
interested in
noise.
this at all. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it could have lost audiences for multiple reasons. Also,
did.
just things go on for too long and it happens, you
And
know.
then attitudes to what we watch shift as well because you see the rise of the Dark Trio and everything kind of looks kind of childish, especially that art style.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just people like, well, that's like
For children.
for kiddies.
Well, the same year, I think even season that poor season of My Hero Academia aired, Jujutsu Kaisen season 1 also aired.
Yeah.
So like you start to see a changing of the guard, and then people's tastes are maturing and sophisticating, and people are understanding anime is starting to grow up a little bit. People growing up with it, and I guess if you're coming into it fresh in COVID, for example, and you're like you see Jujutsu Kaisen, you're like, whoa, gee, that's fucking interesting. What is that?
Yeah.
And then you watch like My Hero, and you're like, oh yeah, it is a bit.
I don't
It's a
know.
bit
It's pretty bleak
childish, you
times. I
know,
think
like-
I would have watched My Hero back then just because of the bleakness of the world.
Yeah.
Like, save me, All Might. Save me. Right.
Yeah. I also think that in terms of just obviously the reason I think it's hit so hard and well in the West in that time is because obviously superheroes were the up
Huge.
thing. So it's
Marvel,
like,
big Marvel time.
yeah. So at that time and also now, I guess like there's just a huge market for like deconstruction of superhero genre. And
course.
this is what that is doing as
Yes.
well. And it had a lot of appeal, I think, for a wide range of audiences because it is younger and older at the same time. So I can see why it did well. And honestly, it's a good show. It is. Is it perfect? No. And it does, unfortunately, it does get bad. But then when there's like, it gets good again. Like
does.
it's actually got, I think, one of the strongest villains.
Yeah.
Like Shigaraki is an incredible villain.
Yes, and so is All for One.
Yeah, All for One's all right, but like I think that's a less interesting villain. Like to
Shigaraki's the one.
Shigaraki, the storyline, everything, and like the parallels there, and when you kind of unravel everything, and also just his design,
Oh.
fucking turbo.
Yep.
But it's really good. Like yeah, the decay thing, and like them and having like juxtaposition between what happened to him versus what happened to Deku, and like how they
Yes.
yeah, it's a so I think we've got a decent villain. People don't like protagonists. People don't like Midoriya.
A lot of people don't like Midoriya.
I don't like
I
Midoriya.
don't mind Midoriya. He's fine. He's just like
It's too much pluck.
yeah. But he's too similar to Tanjiro, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe a little less stoic.
less stoic.
But like they're similar archetype.
Similar
Like,
archetype, very, very empathetic, very caring, almost too caring. But except the difference is like Midoriya cries a lot, which I think upset a lot of people.
yeah, which I'm like, God, guys, just get in touch with your emotions. Like this is toxic masculinity.
Toxic.
Like,
No, it's fair. Look, that's a
Yeah.
fair call.
Yeah.
It's a fair call.
I mean,
And-
if I was, how old is he? 14?
Something like that, yeah.
If I was 14 and breaking every bone in my fucking body every time I punch something, I'd be crying too. And so would you.
Yeah, but that's
You
not what he does. He's
all-
crying though. That's what he's normally just like.
That's what he's awesome.
Grr, let's do this, and then
He cries from empathy.
yeah, and then next thing
Oh,
he's just
weak.
Oh, I'm out of jello. I was like, you just lost both your arms. Like,
Yeah.
It is good. And there's also, of course, like any good old school shonen, there is a classic rivalry between him and his
Shouty best friend.
shouty best friend slash frenemy.
Oh, yeah, enemy more.
So Bakugo is an interesting character. And I'll never forget a friend of mine saying like why he was frustrated with my hero. He was just like, because essentially the thing about All Might and then consequently Deku, Midoriya's his nicknames, power is it's just smashing stuff. You know what I mean?
Hitting stuff real hard.
Literally, whenever All Might calls out his power, it's like you know, Detroit smash, and then he just smashes something, punches it, and it dies. Like it's kind of not super cool. And then Bakugo's got like he can just make explosions out of his hands, and it's like sick.
His abilities to sweat bombs, like if, what?
It's like Diadra from
I
Muscular.
like one of my
get a treadmill, he
favorite.
might kill us all.
when he gets Parkinson's in old age, he's just killing everyone.
I don't need the sweat aspect.
That was a strange part, but my friend did say, he was like, why can't the protagonist have Bakugo's power? You know what I mean? Like, why can't it be slightly more interesting? Than like
Oh,
just-
surely you want the half fire, half ice power.
Todoroki is also one of the best characters of them all.
Yeah.
Should have worn that hat today. Realized I made a mistake.
I know. I've been sitting here the entire
yeah, I was
time,
like-
Dodgers, really?
Yeah.
One thing I do like about My Hero Academia, and I'm such a sucker for this, I do love it when characters, because like obviously in this world, people have quirks, and like some people just make their shit quirk work really well for them.
Yeah.
Like tape guy,
Well,
No,
no, does
that
he?
never
elbow
works.
tape guy.
Does he?
That never works.
I hate that
That dude
character.
sucks.
It's the
It's like,
worst.
who let this guy in
Yeah.
here?
Dude, my
Like-
friend had a couple of beers once, and he was like, "Charlie, I need to talk to you about My Hero Academia." And I was like, "Random." And he was just like, "Is the tape guy really class A material?" And I was like, "Solid." He was like, "Is he really?" Like, what about tail guy? He's like, "What? He just has a tail?"
Tail-
Like, he's like,
so
so-
he eats sugar and gets more powerful.
see,
I'm like,
this
get
is-
this guy
But
out
like,
of
it's
here.
just,
This is what I've always been thinking about these worlds. They build this where everyone's got a power. Does everyone go to hero school?
No.
Do people go to hero school and then end up as like a Starbucks manager?
Good
Yeah.
question.
If everyone's got superpowers, why is anyone working in the grocery store?
I mean, the 20% of people who don't, I suppose. But I guess
but also
those
some
are
people
just
like, no,
20%
but
of
like
the
Midoriya's, but Midoriya's,
the servant class.
no, but like Midoriya's mum has a quirk, but all it is just
suck.
like she can like drag a piece of paper towards her. So people like
So it's
majority of
not
people
like-
don't have good quirks.
Some people have tails, some people do paper.
yeah,
Some people can create anything out of their chest, like
that is a broken.
which is the most
power.
insane
Insane
power.
power.
Or like what was the Stars and Stripes character? It's just like whatever I say becomes like universal law.
That was
It's like,
so
that is the
cool.
most busted ability, and she got done so dirty. By the way,
Yeah.
by the way, I should have mentioned this before. There will be spoilers coming up.
Will be.
We haven't done it yet, so credit
Well,
to
that
us.
was a spoiler.
Oh, not really.
She got done dirty.
She did get done dirty, but anyway, that was a slight spoiler. So there's your first one. But like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Mirio is a great example of
Ah.
a character who has taken a quirk that was really actually like life. Like some people have like life-alteringly bad quirks, where it's just like he was just literally falling into like in between spaces and
Yeah.
fusing into things.
Well, he's got Obito's power from Naruto, right?
Mm.
He can basically make himself intangible, and then.
But to
because-
train that,
but
next to
yes,
impossible.
they handled that really well.
Yeah.
Because like he started off, he was like, falling through the floor and like getting stuck and not knowing how to use it, till eventually becoming like the most OP character. Like that ability's broken.
Yeah.
But yeah.
it's-
I think where the show's the strongest is when they kind of have this commentary about some powers are inherently villainous.
Yeah.
So characters get like, and there's a really great storyline that follows a character who, spoiler, has mind control.
Yep.
And he's like, his whole life is kind of spent with people just being like, he's going to be a villain. It's just like weird, like you're going to become a villain because that's a power that couldn't be used by a hero or like all this kind of stuff. And it's about like changing your destiny, which is what Deku is doing as well. And then when they go into like My Villain Academia,
Great arc.
yeah, that's
it came back.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because you're like the League of Villains, right? They're called that.
Yep.
Yeah, like just
Flipped narrative, and we followed the villains who like.
They go to a school?
No, but
No,
they're
it's
like
just a
they're like a
player
disparate little gang trying to like
So it's not
but
like
they're starting a
villain
revolution.
academia school.
Well,
They're
they're
starting
the
revolution-
revolutionaries. so
because
that's
like
interesting
the
about
hero
it.
system is broken as well.
That's kind of the most interesting
The
part
whole
about
point,
it.
yeah. So you're like, who's actually right here?
Yeah.
I mean,
Not Shigaraki in the end, but like, but it was one of those classic things with the villains where they're like, hey, they've actually got a good point, just going about it the wrong way.
So
it's
like a Magneto and X-Men.
100%.
Totally.
In fact, it's
in fact,
exactly
it
what
literally is
Um,
that.
It's just,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
just X-Men.
Yeah.
pretty
Japanese
much.
X-Men.
I mean, yeah, the show is X-Men
Yeah,
meets
it is.
Marvel and
Yeah, yeah.
DC. Like, that's
Yeah.
what it is. And Horikoshi, the writer, is a huge DC and Marvel fan, obviously. And in fact, All Might is based off both a combination of Superman and Goku.
Makes
Like
sense.
who is combined.
Hit things
there.
hard now, yeah.
But also more about like the passing on of the generations, like like Goku does to Gohan and whatever, to help it pass it out.
He just
Well, it
doesn't
comes
raise him
back,
well,
yeah.
then leaves. It's not really passing the torch, is it? Like,
Or when he's against
sorry, I'm
Cell,
dead
he's like,
again.
I'm dead. You up to you,
yeah.
buddy.
Yeet.
Go off, buddy.
No, I'm passing the torch, I swear.
It's one of those shows because it has one of the greatest, I think, one of the top anime moments of the decade / I put it in my top 10 anime hype moments of all time, right? Now, spoiler coming up here. I am, of course, talking about United States of Smash,
Oh.
which is one of the great moments. The amount of times I've watched that clip on YouTube is like not healthy. Like it's it's so hype, and it's so like, for those of you who have or haven't watched it, basically again we've got the generational fight between All Might, who's been concealing from the world that he's sick and losing his power. And like to the point where like he literally turns from like this skinny little skeletal, like very sickly guy into his big jacked, public facing self, which he's always looked like. And eventually he's brought out by All for One and finally exposed as being no longer the guardian of peace. And the world is, and it's all happening live stream. They're fighting together. It's all happening. It's like, everyone's like, oh my God, the whole worldview shatters because he was literally like the one thing between like chaos and order. And this has all been part of the plan for All for One. And he's like finally exposing him because he was the one who injured him to give him that injury. And then it also comes to this point where he's about to lose. And he realizes that he can't lose until he passes the torch properly onto Midoriya. And he summons the last Skerrick of his power, where he's usually says Detroit Smash, Cleveland Smash, Seattle Smash, whatever. This is United States of Smash. And it's like the animation's incredible, the build-up's extraordinary, and he just like messes him up and wins the battle, and then has this moment where he's still that skinny person, and then he like pops back into his like original form, does his arm raise, which is like his famous pose, and then points at the camera and says, "You're next," and it means it to Midoriya. And it's just one of those moments which is just like, this is why I watch anime. This is what shonen does. This is like all that build up, all that character story, all that and like the torch being passed. He's not quite ready to take the torch. And like, it's just like, hell yes, man. Thank you, anime. This is what I'm all about.
We should link that reaction video that guy does.
The reaction video is one of the best of all time.
There's this one guy, and honestly, I'll put it in the show notes. But like, he's just...
he goes off.
He's loving it.
It's extraordinary.
It's so
he's saying what we're all feeling.
It's so good.
Very loudly, but it's very good.
I reckon we should have a word from this episode's sponsor, which is, of course, Hobbyco. Supplying Australia with anime, Gunpla, and hobby supplies for 90 years, Hobbyco is one of Australia's most trusted retailers for all of your hobby and anime needs. They stock everything from anime figures to model kits and craft supplies, so you'll almost always find something fun and exciting at Hobbyco. So a lot of the stuff on our set was provided by Hobbyco, as you can see here, everything back here. They've got all of your anime favorites. They also have heaps of My Hero Academia stuff if you like that, so make sure to check it out. See all of their anime and Gunpla figures in person by visiting one of their stores, or head to hobbyco.com.au to shop online with worldwide shipping. Thanks to Hobbyco for sponsoring this video. Check it out. It's so great. You can check them on the website, link below, and yeah, check out Hobbyco.
I want to talk now a little bit about like the bad reputation that the fandom gets. And it sort of comes around this 2020 time. And it's an interesting topic. I don't want to dive too deep into this, but like I read an article on Screen Rant by Mallory Flory, which I'll link in the notes. But she calls it the My Hero Academia effect, which refers to the dissipation of fandoms when they suddenly are deemed cringe.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, and My Hero was one of the first not the first, but like one of the most famous ones during the anime boom of 2020 to all of a sudden kind of get deemed cringe because it was also 2020 TikTok explosion, right? So there's all this kind of confluence of things which happened, which is like taken My Hero off its trajectory of being the modern classic, right? Now, some of the writing's done it as well, like the big explosion of fan fiction as well was a huge part of My Hero Academia's success, but it was also a part of its demise because there was a lot of fan fiction, a lot of alternative universes and original characters being made and stuff. As it became a hugely thriving community online. But with that came a lot of shipping. And a lot of the shipping got toxic and weird and like inappropriate.
Why?
And
Because they're all school children.
there's
yeah,
that.
but if you're, what are these school age
These school
fans?
kids.
I
talking
believe
about
now this is where I guess again I didn't want to dive too deep into that.
Because like that's just that's like you're just talking about every fandom ever. Like a Harry
This
Potter.
one got particularly toxic because, and it's interesting here because a lot of people were reading with a queer lens, and a lot of people were getting very upset about that, which is also a bad part about fandoms and like those who can.
Oh, so people are being homophobic about people's shipping.
Correct.
Okay, weird.
Which is a big part of it because obviously a lot of Deku and Bakugo shipping.
That's like the that's
which is the same with Haikyuu. It's the same Naruto. We've seen all this
like,
forever.
I think that Bakugo Deku is still one of the top ships on AO3. AO3 is like the fan fiction website, like huge. Out of the top 100 that was announced, I think it's number 3. That's wild.
Massive.
What's
That's
2 and 1?
wild. I'm pretty certain it's like from memories. I saw a video on this the other day. It's definitely Supernatural. That's up there.
The Deans? The Winchesters?
No, I'm sure that people fucking do that, but I think
Jesus.
it's Dean and
Castiel.
Castiel, right?
Oh, yeah, that makes
And
sense. They
then-
make a good couple.
Yeah, so I'm pretty certain they're like number 3, and I was like, that's
That's crazy.
kind of crazy.
I thought you were
There's
just
a
talking
lot.
about like anime.
Anime,
I think
no,
it
no,
was just
all-
like
No, all.
This is what I'm
fiction.
saying. This is the
All-
level it got to, right?
That's
Yeah.
But there was also a subsection that were shipping All Might and Deku, right? Which is fucked.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, but
obviously that's a small
like,
subsection.
that's
obviously,
fucking weird, but I don't think
That's
that takes the whole
horrible,
fandom. It's just
no,
like,
it doesn't.
why are
Obviously
people
not. But
doing
like this, but this is sort of it started to get a reputation for like very fervent fans getting really into the shipping side of fan fiction.
Yeah, and it's already inherently going to be considered a cringy thing for
Yes.
people who are like, watching anime and don't really. But like that's just such a part of fandom in general. Like I just mentioned like Supernatural and like it's just like people shipping
world.
people.
Harry
That's-
Potter's got it all as well.
Yeah,
right?
so I'm like, I
Well,
get
there
it.
is that
But
book you read, the fan fiction book, which is all about the Marauders, and don't they ship?
yeah,
Lupin,
they ship
Lupin
it's
and
Lupin
Sirius?
and Sirius is one of the major ships that have like
Because they
existed.
both transform into dogs. We don't need to get into this.
It's very wholesome.
Charlie defending it with her life.
No, honestly, like I don't know, like fan fiction's this whole thing, and like
It's a whole
there's
world.
like again
never
similar
read
to
any fan
anime, you
fiction.
can like
No.
you can just not look at the cooked shit and
Yeah, and look,
like,
that's
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it's interesting when you like when I was looking like for research on this, I was looking at Reddit threads, being like, "Why is My Hero Academia fandom
like fan
considered so
art.
toxic?" People were like, a lot of the conversations were like, "Look, it's not actually as like bad as anything else. It's just that it got super highlighted that fandom was toxic."
I think Haikyuu did as well.
But
I think
nowhere
that
near as
people,
badly,
but I
yeah.
think that people just talk about like I think a lot of people are just like to rag on anime fans who are enjoying themselves. So like
That's
it
a
doesn't
big
sound
part
that
of it.
bad.
That was
like,
a big part of it for sure.
And people being like, it's cringe and like that kind of like, particularly if you've got a boom of like cooler, edgier anime coming in, then people are going to come for the like, more classic, like,
Heart on your sleeve, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
like,
yeah. And look, I don't
cringy.
know. I mean, I'm not the biggest My Hero fan, not really fan fiction on that. I'm not on that level because I'm, first of all,
I got
too
my
old for
own
that.
fiction to read.
I don't know. I mean, I very much thought about. I still read fan fiction. I do.
I never
It just
read any.
depends on what
I don't know.
it is.
Blind spot, complete blind spot.
But
Yeah, me too.
It's a whole crazy world out there.
Oh, it's massive. I mean, what was the one that was fan fiction of?
50 Shades of Grey.
Thank you. Yes, from Twilight, right?
I'm reading a book right now called Alchemized, which is based off one of the most famous Harry Potter fan fictions, which is a Draco Hermione fan fiction based on. So Draco Malfoy, Hermione Granger in alternate universe. It's like based off The Handmaid's Tale. It's actually one of the best written things I've ever read in my life.
Connect those dots.
The writer who's made it, she's like just changed it basically because it was alternate universe. That makes it easier to adapt it because it's like basically you can just but she just created a whole new magic system and it's fucking awesome.
That's cool.
But I only recommend check the trigger warnings. It's super dark and it's not like a romance. It's not like a fun, sexy romance. It's like a hard hitting drama, like really fucked up. Good, really good. Anyway, it's like already been optioned for movie rights.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
Do you
it's
go
a whole
through-
thing.
How do the rights work on that?
7
Copyright.
years.
Fine, it's not Harry Potter anymore. It never fan fiction's fine and like it's nothing to do with anything. You wouldn't even be able to.
Right.
And also sucked in J.K. Rowling.
True that.
Imagine going through Hogwarts for 7 years and then end up working in a post office.
Yeah.
Like My Hero Academia.
Yeah, that's the same
That's the same
universal
thing.
problem, right?
This
Like,
is Graham's fan fiction he's writing.
The quotidian.
just given everything, and you're like, oh no, I work for DHL.
Who are you
Working
shipping?
logistics.
It's like,
Like-
who's your main ship in this fanfic? Just
It's got to be something with Dumbledore. And Oh my
Dumbledore. I will bet you money. There's several Harry Potter, My Hero Academia crossover fan
Oh
fictions.
yeah,
I will bet
Hogwarts
you
smash.
thousands of them. Yeah.
Now, that could be the name of something messed up
Yep.
that we don't
Yep.
want to read.
Trademark. Gateway out. Check out
yeah,
the fan fiction websites.
Fandom, fan art, shipping, that's just a tale as old as time
yeah,
for any
yeah.
fandom
It is,
ever.
it is.
But I think that, people did. I mean, look, we're talking about like people find, like to make fun of anime fans in general and call
Yes.
people cringe.
It's everywhere, though.
It's everywhere, but
It goes back to like Spock and Kirk and Star Trek.
100%.
Absolutely.
Like
100% it does.
60s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
All right. Just don't get weird with it.
Yeah,
There's
just
only
don't go
one-
weird and make fucked up
there's
stuff,
only
you know,
one
Apart from the
fandom.
Hogwarts one, we're doing that.
There's only one fandom I'm like, oh, cringe. And it's like, this is a deep cut, but there's Hetalia, if anyone remembers what that is. Okay. Wow. Anime. It's an anime. It's like the
Hetalia.
one where they're
I've
like,
never watched anime. What's it about?
it's
Anime, you say?
it's about like people are like personifications of the countries.
What?
Have you not seen this?
No.
Oh my god. And they're like Shonen, like Germany and like and it's like so like I feel like it's anyway, the people who were into Hetalia were like next level and they're like shipping Germany in Australia. And like so
But that's funny because it's so ludicrous.
no, but
Yeah.
like the show, like people were really serious about it. So
They're
that's the
serious
thing.
about it.
Yeah, the Hetalia fans were next level. So that's the thing. I'm like, my hero. I'm like, come on, get back on, get on our level.
Get on our level,
You're literally
man.
dealing with Hetalia cosplayers at a convention.
I gotta do some Google searches.
No
once
disrespect.
again.
I wouldn't.
But no disrespect, people who are into Hetalia. That was a time, and it was a vibe in the 2005s.
Wow.
There you go.
That show was really weird. I never was a fan, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry,
deep
we've gotten
in the fan fiction.
absolutely Hetalia. We've gotten really off track.
But also, I want to mention that even just quite recently, My Hero Academia in March of this year, it was on the New York Times bestsellers list. The chapter "The End of an Era" and ... which is the 40th volume, ranked number 14 on the list.
All right.
Which is pretty massive. But also for context, Solo Leveling was 7 that month, and Chainsaw Man Volume 17 was number 4.
Wow.
So the manga is becoming
It's the only
more
thing-
mainstream.
It's the only thing people are buying these
It's,
days.
it's
like-
crazy, but that's on the
you know.
that's on the New York Times bestseller list. My Hero Academia is still getting up there. That's the manga, by the way, not the anime at all. So like, it's still got its place, and I think a lot of people have come back around to it. Like, we put up a little poll before this episode on our Instagram. Now I understand it's a small sample size. Don't think
Nah,
that
it's
I'm
huge
using
What are you
sample
this
size.
saying?
It's the biggest
massive.
sample
Actually,
size.
we're now being used for clinical research. But I
we're using
understand
the
that it's a small
general-
sample size, but like more people than not who voted were saying, yeah, I'm excited for the final season. But there were a sizable enough amount of people who were just like, I don't care anymore. You know, and it's interesting because there was also a period of time, which I guess we haven't really talked about yet, when it was the shonen show. Absolutely. Like 2016 to 2018, even up getting towards 2020, like up until Demon Slayer, I think in 2019, it was the shonen show. You know, like obviously Black
Yeah,
Clover had its thing. Yeah, Demon Slayer 2019, obviously AOT, it depends if you call that a shonen or not. I think it's like kind of put that in a slightly different space.
Seinen-y,
But
on,
like,
the,
it's-
on the edge, yeah.
Yeah, kind of on the edge there, but like obviously AOT had was its own beast. I almost put that totally in its own separate
Yeah.
box.
totally.
But like it was up there. It was huge. And like there was Western crossover. Like I say, a lot of the Western fandom.
Yeah.
By the way, when we're talking about the fandom, we are not talking about the Japanese fandom here. We are talking exclusively about the Western fandom because I haven't
Is it
the
huge in
Japanese
Japan?
fan massive. Oh, it's
Still?
sold over 100 million
Oh, okay.
copies. I mean, that's
Yeah,
also
I mean,
in the
it's big
West,
enough
but-
that Bone Studios has its entire, like, they have a whole studio dedicated to it, churning out.
Studio C. So Bones have several studios from A to E, and Studio C has been solely focused on making My Hero Academia
And there's movies.
since 2016. And
There's
movies
8
and
seasons,
there are
like several movies.
several
It's
movies which are
huge.
non-canon. Like they're also the classic old school anime movie
this
where
don't
it
count
has
movie.
no canon whatsoever.
It's kind of refreshing they're not doing a movie to end this. I'm kind of happy
Yeah.
it's staying as a.
I think they're just too deep in the weeds and like, damn, we should have got that Demon Slayer money.
It'll probably release as a compilation movie.
Oh yeah,
Like,
we'll be sitting in a theater in a couple of weeks going,
wow, wow. That show that I've already watched.
I want to ask, just like, just to point out some highlights of the show, because I don't want to sit here and like shit all over it because we do like this show.
I'm sorry, I've been a
Genuinely.
fan the whole time.
Yeah.
Even in the weak season, I've been a supporter because it is scratching that itch that I get from the old school shonen,
Yeah,
which you
I
don't
agree.
get anymore. Like it really is a throwback, you know?
I want to ask you what your favorite fight is.
It's all for one and one for
That's
all.
probably one for all. Oh, the tournament arc with what's the flame boy's name again?
Todoroki.
Todoroki and Deku.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
My favorite is from there, and I actually love the fight between Bakugo and what's her name? Fucking hell.
Uraraka.
Uraraka. I love that fight. I think it's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because she does that cool thing, spoiler, where she like tricks him and gets all the all of his
Stones,
like rubble and has it above and then like lets go of it and nearly wins. And she doesn't win, which I think is good because it makes sense that like he's the strongest. But he has to like go all out on her, which I think is like, I don't know, it's a cool character moment for both of them in a weird like it's good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because she was always like, oh, she's so weak. All she does is float around and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, this is badass.
And everyone's like, don't kill her. And then he's like, I had to. He was like, I like literally had to fight her at full strength because like she was going to kill me.
Yeah.
Which is sick. So I like that for character. But I also like Endeavor's fight
Against
the
against the
Nobu.
Nobu. That's cool as well.
that's a good one.
Doesn't quite redeem him for his
he's
horrific
behavior.
horrific.
Yeah.
Yes. But he's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Very interesting character. The whole Todoroki family is fascinating.
Yeah.
Also, Aizawa just doing anything.
The
is
ultimate
my
sleepy teacher.
top
The modern
10.
sleepy teacher.
Yeah.
Love him.
Oh, it's amazing.
When he cuts his leg off,
oh,
it's the
come
coolest
on.
thing I've ever seen.
Amazing.
There's
That
a
whole
line where
the whole fight's amazing.
when Shigaraki goes like, "Oh, you're so cool, Aizawa."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, bitch.
absolutely." I was like, "I agree."
I like the sort of Bakugo when they go to his home. Because this whole thing, you're like, oh, he's an asshole. He must have such
Yelling
a
and
tragic
screaming.
past. There's going to be some traumatic stuff. And I'm like, well, here's the episode. We're really going to deep dive into this character of how he lost his family. And it's not. He's just an asshole. Like, and his family's great.
Isn't it his dad is like super sweet and his mum's also like
his mum's like shouty and stuff
yeah,
like
like
that.
fiery,
yeah.
Like, you're just expecting that twist where it's like, oh, he's going to have such a tragic backstory. And it's like, no, he's coming from a stable family.
Yeah, no,
he's just
he's-
an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
no, he's just an ass. He's just a spoiled ass.
I think he's an interesting character. I
is
like
interesting,
I
yeah.
like Bakugo as a character just because like he's awful person.
Yeah,
Like,
So
full
awful
bully,
to Deku because he bullies Deku
toxic, like
horribly
awful.
for being powerless, right?
Like he's an awful person, but then like you kind of like as he goes along, you kind of like I like that he's not. I like that they made him be a hard worker as well.
yes.
Like and it's kind
So
of
genius. He's
yeah,
just-
it's interesting to see, and he's kind of like put everything on him having this ability, and like he's just like it's all he has. So he kind of and then he learns
Apart from his
a
loving
lesson.
family.
Yeah, it's like
It's all he's got.
but he learns a lesson. I mean, he's not obviously not a perfect character, but I think like there's some interesting characters in there.
But his love, he was obsessed with All Might as well. And so when he found out that Midoriya was the one to get the power, that also really devastated him too. Like, and that's when they have that fight at the end of season 3. It is like also a wonderful moment.
great fight.
I've got another for the character, like great character development, great moment there. And All Might's the one that breaks it up. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
Another shout out to the muscle fight. When Midoriya saves that kid who like hates the idea of heroes
Oh, yeah.
on the camp. The guy's abilities
Oh,
like
yeah.
grow muscles, and like that's when you get the eponymous line of my hero. It's an amazing, and like Deku's like standing there screaming like it's his first major huge fight win.
Yeah.
Great moment.
And Stain.
Stain
Stain
is
great.
my favorite character in the show.
Great
Oh, he's
character.
great. He looks like a Ninja Turtle. It's wild.
Are you?
has no
Does that make your
nose.
character would be like that Stain cosplayer? You know that there's like in the League of Villains, there's a guy who dresses like Stain.
The actual turtle.
The actual turtle.
The literal turtle man. It's me in that world.
Yeah, just Stain cosplayer.
As a turtle.
Just like, that's fun.
Let's go.
Shredder.
One of my favorite dumb bits is I love the bit where there's a stupid kind of arc where they have to like go against the teachers. It was like they're to pair up.
Oh yes.
And they've got like All Might versus Deku and Bakugo, which is
yeah.
a huge thing. But my favorite is like the people that are going against the principal just lose because he's in this like it flashes to him and he's just in
crane?
this crane. And you're like, what is he even doing?
He's
the
a mouse.
And the fact that the principal is a mouse that has a quirk, like the mouse that has a super genius quirk is not a human. It's so funny.
It's so funny. And his superhuman power is that he's just so smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
But then you're like, is this guy okay? Like, yeah, I don't
No,
know.
he's a mouse.
Yeah.
She's a frog. What the other one?
Oh my god, the frog.
Froppy.
What's her name? Froppy.
Froppy.
I love Froppy.
She's a
Froppy's-
huge fan favorite.
Froppy's-
Huge fan favorite.
Froppy's pretty great.
Or she's a frog.
She's a frog.
What about like the head of the like police that's it's a dog head and nothing else?
Okay.
Like that's
Some of the quirks, I'm like, did you really put much thought into this, Horikoshi?
yeah. What about the concrete
Some people
guy?
need jobs. That's why. That's how
Yeah.
we keep the world going.
There's
Dog head.
Get in the car. You're a
Frog
cop,
person.
Yeah, the concrete guy.
Yeah, the concrete guy's awesome.
Yeah, but he's like one of the main heroes. Like you think he could have been doing another job?
Concrete guy. Yeah, he'd be a concrete guy.
Surely he'd own a construction
Labourer.
business and earn way more money.
No, exactly. Yeah. Who's your favorite sidekick?
Like the guy who's just like, his power is just, he's a pair of denims.
Oh, Best Genius is my favorite. If you're gonna ask me who my favorite pro hero is, it's Best Genius.
Best Genius?
Yes.
Because he's so classy.
It's funny.
Just like
Just controls
that
threads.
power
I'm like,
is so funny.
pretty stupid
But
power,
again, though,
dude.
then you see him do something cool with it, where
Yes,
he
he
like
is
throws
cool.
everyone out of the way of an attack, and you're
Yeah,
like,
he's basically
oh,
Spider-Man.
that was super useful.
Yeah.
Spider-Man couldn't do that.
But he's the threads, like the
Thread
web.
guy.
Yeah,
Without the sticking to things and swinging
that's a
around.
tape guy. He's our Spider-Man.
Tape Man is just a clown who
Tape
should be
guy.
sitting in the corner, getting out of here.
How do we do Spider-Man and not get sued? Oh, elbow tape guy.
Elbow tape guy.
And a guy who can control threads of clothing.
Yeah, but at least he's got panache.
Yeah, he is cool looking.
Nah, what about the orca whale guy?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
He's amazing.
I also like the bird guy with the shadow powers. His name is Takoyami.
Takayami's great.
Tokuyami.
He's cool.
Yeah.
He's got a really cool design.
Yeah.
Sleek. And he's got some inner conflict with his dark powers.
Yeah, it's very
Dark
cool. And he's
Shadow.
also
Dark
like
Shadow.
the fact that he's like his mentor is Hawks, who's also a great character.
He's a great character.
What I love about Hawks as well is that he's one of the only people who's not obsessed with All Might. He's like, you know who's really cool? Endeavor. Wrong. But like,
The hamster headmaster.
it's just,
Love that guy.
Headmaster's underrated.
Yeah,
Let's get the mouse man and
Yeah.
the crane out of here. But again, the more we're talking about this now, right, the more we're like, hey, this show rocks. Like great world building. And yes, there are some poor like moments, like again with the fucking school festival when they like spend 6 episodes learning to play a fucking song.
That's sick. What do you mean? We need that.
But again, it is a
What was that
throwback.
fight? That guy.
Oh yeah,
The time.
criminal, genteel criminal.
Yeah, that's right. That
Also
was,
poor.
That was weird.
Yeah, also poor.
Yeah, that was some bad timing.
So that's what I mean. That was a bad time. Overhaul, who should have been way cooler. From what I understand from the manga readers that I've followed, a lot of them were really upset about the Overhaul arc because they love it in the manga, but it was actually adapted quite poorly,
Just kind of badly paced.
especially badly paced, and also like Mirio's fight with him was basically a clip show,
Oh.
and it was like
That's
this is
one
one
of
of the coolest
moments
moments because he literally fights him with no power and holds him off, and you're like, that's sick. And it's just got this glitch. It literally turns into like a clip show, and it's like, it's just a bit underwhelming,
Damn.
I love Mirio. He's my favorite character.
Mirio's up there. It's staying.
that about every
Eraserhead and
character,
Mirio and
Yeah.
Mineta. Sorry, I'm joking. Mineta's not anyone. Not
the
anyone.
most hated character.
The most hated character in anime history. Up
Yeah,
there.
he's up there.
Who's that?
The fucking
pervert
the
one.
pervert
Oh, the
one with
pervert
the
ball guy.
sticky
Ball, yeah.
balls.
Yeah, just enraging.
Really did not need him in class.
And again,
one.
another throwback to that like really annoying
It's like
part
Dragon
of old school
Ball.
anime when you're like,
Like Dragon
oh
Ball.
man,
Yeah.
like why?
Why have we got some weird horny kid here?
Yeah, it
it's like, and it's so, and he's just like, it's like, and it doesn't fit
So
in with the rest
And
of
he's
it.
like,
It
he
is
looks like a
cringe.
baby as well. Like,
Yeah, no,
Wears
it's
a- he wears a
real
diaper
weird.
as his like
It's real-
character.
yeah, I
like-
hate that.
So again, there's elements of that which are problematic.
You know,
what
this
I
show
mean? Like-
sucks.
We're back around. You don't hate this show.
Also, like, I don't think it has strong female characters, but that's a
Uh,
throwback.
no.
You know, I guess it's
Again, we're throwing back. We're throwing back.
throwback.
Cleavage girl with the thing there. That's.
Who creates the any
Yeah.
object she wants out of her chest?
Yeah, that
Again,
wasn't designed from there. She could have done it from her arms.
Could have done from
Yeah,
anywhere else.
The guy
That's
was like,
not-
no, the cleavage. That's where it's
Yeah.
at.
No.
Yeah, you're right. This show sucks. Let's get out of here.
There's also one thing I wanted to say as well. Like the term Deku is interesting because it's actually a term for puppet in Japanese, as in to mean like slang to refer to someone as being useless.
Useless, yeah.
But when Uraraka is like, no, you should take power of this, she's referring to Dekeru, which means to be able to do.
Oh.
So there's a play on words there, which well, it goes over my head a bit with the translation.
Call
Not great
yourself
for it.
super puncher and then get on with it. Like,
Bashman.
Don't need to look up Wikipedia
What did
entry about
Bakugo call
someone's
himself?
fighting
He's
about
like
that.
Lord Explosion. Like
Lord
he's like,
Explosion
that,
King,
yeah,
like,
he's like just like
hell yeah.
Yeah.
No, what it actually means is he's taking control of the word puppet. You're like, shut up.
Well,
He's punching that guy.
he got given that name by Bakugo in fairness.
You know
for
who's
being
an
useless.
underrated character?
Mineta?
The guy who Mineta. The guy who the jet legs, not him.
Oh, engineer.
Not Leto. Yeah, his brother.
His brother, yeah.
His cool brother.
Did either of you watch Vigilantes?
No.
You know
the
what?
guy with the slidey guy?
Yeah, Slidey Man. Again, dumb
I saw a
power.
lot of clips of him.
You know what? Pretty good.
Okay.
Shows Stain's origin story.
Well, that's why you like it.
That's why I'm a
Number
fan. I thought it was pretty good. Like, it wasn't as if one of those shows I'm like, oh, it's out. You know, like I was just like, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's out. You know, I'd watch it and be like, that was cool.
Look at that slide.
You know, look at him sliding around like an idiot. But it was good to build that world.
Yeah,
As I
cool.
was in it.
Well,
it's
fuck.
like-
Why didn't you tell me earlier?
Stain then.
It's actually quite interesting. Like, I think, again, this is a world I think it deserves its credit. It deserves its place. Is it like the perfect show? No. Was it something that bridged a gap in between the old and the new world that we find ourselves in now? Yes. So I think it was a really important piece in anime history. I think it's owed quite a lot, both from authors and from fans. And I think it's something that like deserves to be watched for its final season, even if you have dropped off. It's pretty simple to pick up. Like it's heroes versus villains. There you go. And I just think it's cool. It's something that I think I'll certainly be watching and I'll be enjoying watching. And in fact, parts of the last few seasons have been some of my favorite episodes of seasons for quite some time. Like the fight between Shigaraki and everyone, where Aizawa cuts his leg off. Outstanding. I was like, fuck yes, this is awesome. And I think it deserves its praise.
I think if you like being reminded of your childhood or like, you know, your teenage years of like, it scratches that Naruto itch very much so. I'd
Yes,
say
it
of
does.
all the big three, it's closest to Naruto.
Agreed.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good, and you know it's amazing. It's ending. It's crazy. Everything's ending except for One Piece. Don't worry, that'll never end.
Never end.
But I've heard mixed reviews about the ending, so I'm interested to see how this pans out.
I'm going to wait for My Hero Academia, the next generation.
Or like Neku,
Yeah.
sorry, Deku.
Because have you read much of the manga?
I have actually never read any of the manga.
But
so
you've only watched the anime.
I've only watched the anime, but I'm
People love the manga.
I might give it a crack.
Yeah, the
Actually.
manga is actually like really revered.
Yeah, 40 volumes.
Yeah.
Just need to wait for another COVID lockdown.
Mhm.
That's it.
No, I'll give the manga a go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, there you go. That has been our little talk through.
Do you have any predictions of how it ends, or do you know how it ends?
I know how to do
Oh,
know how it ends,
fine.
don't you?
Yeah,
Just
you bloody
spoilers.
Wikipedia.
You bitch.
Like,
No, I spend too much time like reading Reddit threads, and I'm like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Someone like says
Oh, so
something,
you
I'm
didn't
like,
scramble to like
no, no,
pirated
Well, the
manga
series-
sites
no,
again?
not this time.
The series does start with him saying, "This is how I became the number one hero."
Yes.
That is how it starts. But I've heard that might not deliver on it. We'll see.
We'll see. We will see.
Imagine after all season number 2, like
Lame.
10 years in the making.
Bakugo?
Like, yeah, Bakugo, sweaty bomb boy.
Who would be number one? Me, out of this group.
Yeah.
Like, I just-
Number 1 hero?
out of these three.
Sure. Look, I'm 40. I can't be heroing at 40. I'm like Ben Affleck.
Also, fun fact: the initially in his initial pilot, well, like I guess test run of this called My Hero, a few years before this came out, he was actually written as Jack Midoriya, and he was a sickly salaryman in his middle age who wanted to become a hero, but like had no power.
I would have loved this.
And but then when they took it to Shonen Jump, the editors were like,
No, we already got One Punch
gotta
Man over
be,
here.
he's got to be a kid in a school, man. And then he was like, yeah, that makes sense. But it's a shame that I actually think that could have been more interesting.
What, if a 40-year-old goes to a high school?
Not that.
Hey, fellow kids.
Steve Buscemi,
Steve
move.
Buscemi.
No, I think that like following a salaryman in this
Sam,
world.
You're
That's
gonna
One
love
Punch
One
Man.
Punch Man.
I know it's One Punch Man
Like,
without the pastiche, and the funny. He wouldn't have been the most powerful like until later. Anyway, that has been our deep dive into My Hero Academia. So tell us what you think. Are you a fan? Are you not a fan? Did you drop off? Why did you drop off?
Yeah, I want to
intrigued.
know why, because we all have different reasons. And I
Mm.
just I think it's interesting because, yeah, why?
I'm interested. I think it still has its place. Is it in my top 10 shows of all time? No. Is it in my top 20? No. But like,
Really,
it's something.
really selling it here.
No, but it's something that like I've been watching every episode that comes out since 2016. I've been watching it, and I was really into it in the first 3 years.
Yep.
And it's still something that I think
Does
is
it
worth your time.
rank above Dr. Stone for you?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, well, you took a second to answer that. Okay.
They're similar. They're
Really?
similar vibes.
Wow.
Is Dr. Stone that good?
No.
Okay, well, because My Hero Academia, I think is good. Like, I would
It's
put
good.
it-
It's
yeah.
good. Dr. Stone's also good. You know what I mean? Like they're both
Similar
good.
vein of.
But My Hero is better. No, My Hero is definitely better than Dr. Stone. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And of course, thank you once again to this episode's sponsor, Hobbyco. Massively appreciate it. Check out the link in the description for all your hobby needs, whether it be My Hero Academia or pretty much anything anime related. Check them out at Hobbyco. Anyway, thank you so much. Really appreciate you watching. You can, of course, find us on YouTube, or hopefully you're watching this, or if you're on the podcast platforms, give us a 5-star review on Spotify or a little review on Apple Podcasts. Really does make a massive difference to get this into more people's ears. You can, of course, find us on Instagram and TikTok. And hey, Charlie, Gray, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let us know your thoughts on My Hero. And hey, let's hope it comes home strong. And thank you all. We'll see you next time. All the best.